My name is Liz, the voice behind the hands, I guess, of Heretic Owl Tarot. And I'm like, where am I looking? Here we go. Hello. I keep feeling this urge to get on here and show my face, and I don't know why that is. Why would I do that? I don't know. Um, but here I am. So when, so this urge started kind of coming to me, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what would I even do? Like, the thought of actually doing a tarot reading by like showing my face like this, no. So my other thought, and part of that is because I'm like, you'll probably notice this at some point, but I cannot hold a focus to like this little, camera lens. I look all over the place. I usually, when I'm sitting here doing tarot readings, I'm looking outside. I'm staring at trees. I'm watching birds. Like, um, so I don't know. It's like, do I can't imagine showing my face when I'm not even looking at, the camera because I can't hold my focus there. So I don't know. Anyway, when I kind of started thinking about like, well, what would I do? Because, just wanting to honor that urge, that feeling, because it does feel good. But, I was like, okay, well, what would I do instead? So then I thought, well, maybe I'll just kind of get on and like introduce myself and give, some little tidbits about me. Because I don't know, have I ever really done that? I have no clue. I don't remember. But also too, just to say that I realized that I was a bit inconsistent last year as far as posting videos and when I was posting videos and how often, whatever. And I don't know how much of that is going to change, but I do want to make it a priority again because I really do enjoy doing this. I love I love tarot readings. I love giving them. I love receiving them. I love watching them. So but part of the reason, and actually the actual reason why I was so inconsistent with that last year is because I felt like I was dying. Not to be dramatic, but I was basically operating at like my lowest setting, like basic survival, really. And come to find out, I was actually diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, which I believe that I've actually been suffering from since high school, which was a long time ago. But I was really relieved, though, to receive that diagnosis because also there was already like a path of treatment available, and it was then waiting for that because, of course, that took a lifetime to finally come around. But I've been on CPAP treatment since the beginning of January, actually, and I feel like a completely different person. I mean, I feel alive, which feels good. I feel rested. I feel present. It just, what a difference it makes. So I'm also convinced that everybody has sleep apnea. So if you have access to it, highly recommend a sleep study because, man, the power of sleep, right? So anyway, I'm also like I'm very excited to do my first set of videos after being on treatment for a month. I guess today would be a month. Today is February 5th. I have no clue when I'm actually going to start the actual tarot readings. I don't think I'm going to do that today, probably tomorrow. But anyway, I'm excited. I mean, maybe nothing will change. I don't know. Maybe some things will. We'll see how it goes. But how exciting is that? It's exciting for me anyway. I also might like I don't really have this set up to do the, like the my table and me, but I might see if I can finagle something and just try it. Just, have like the camera on the table and then have like a little overlay of me in the corner. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If you don't see me up there, I didn't figure it out because I'm not super tech savvy in that type of way, but maybe eventually a solution for that will come up. But otherwise, just a little bit about me because I did kind of decide that I was making this an introduction type of thing, but I can't give you too much information because the more I remain mysterious, the better. And that is because I'm a 5/1 human design profile, manifesting generator, emotional authority. And with that 5/1 profile, the whole familiarity breeds contempt. Um, did you, if you heard Taylor Swift's song Bejeweled, she says that in there. She's a 5/1 also. So I'm like, there's no doubt somebody gave her a human design reading somewhere down the road, right? Or she could have just Googled her own chart. But anyway, so yeah, the more I remain mysterious and behind the projection of the fifth line, as long as it's a positive projection, right? Because on the other side of that is being burned at the stake. But anyway, so 5/1 manifesting generator, emotional authority, lifting a cross of uncertainty. I have a lot of gates in uncertainty gates, so I'm never sure about shit. But even, like as far as like putting my face out here, right? Like part of me, like I feel like there is kind of this like evolution, just there's some sort of change I feel as far as either the way that I present videos or the way that I do them. And part of me, like a big part of me wants to wait until I figure that out. I don't know if that's my Virgo moon. I don't know what that is, but the other part of me is like, no, I mean, like we figure it out by trying, right? So you kind of like push through the uncertainty and eventually certainty shows up. So we'll see what happens. But I'm a Cancer rising, if you can't tell by my super round face. I'm also a Cancer Venus. And like I said, Virgo moon, Taurus sun. And what else? I am clearly into plants, if you can't tell. I also sell plants. I have a plant stand at a coffee shop in downtown Colorado Springs. So if you're ever in the area, check out the Perk downtown. I have my plants in there. I absolutely love it. It's so fun, but my house looks like a jungle because it's also my greenhouse. It's where I keep my property for that business. And I am attuned to Reiki master level. And before every reading, I set the intention for the message to come through me, not from me. I clear the space. I also get consent from every deck that I use in every reading. I have consent from it to use it for all 12 readings. And the way that I do that is usually there's a deck that just kind of like pops up in my mind. And I'll shuffle that deck until a card comes out. And if it's a general positive card, I take that as a yes. If it's a general negative, quote unquote, card, then I take that as a no and I'll try a different deck. I do that for all my readings, personal readings, if I'm doing an event, obviously YouTube, Instagram, which I've also been super inconsistent with and want to get back on to posting daily readings on there. But anyway, I get consent every time from the decks that I use to use them for the readings. And is there anything else? I realize like how long this actually is, and now I'm like, shut up. So is there anything else I want to tell you for now? Because I just lost my train of thought. I don't know. That's it. I'm so glad that you're here. If you watch this whole thing, thank you. Follow me on Instagram for daily readings eventually, if you care about those. And last thing I'll say is that I do my readings based on human design profile, and you don't have to know your human design profile or anything about human design in order for the message to be for you. I mean, if anything, you would have to know your human design profile, I guess, right? But you don't even have to know anything else about it. You don't have to know anything about human design. I don't generally go into very heavy human design terms. I might talk about strategy and authority sometimes, but the message is still the message for you, even if you have no clue about human design. And if you don't have any clue about human design, I'm happy that I introduced you to it, because it unlocked some stuff for me that was pivotal in my healing and self, acceptance and love journey. So anyway, I think that's all that I'll say for now. If there's anything else that I'm missing, I'll just say it in the video. And I'll see you later. Bye. Hello again. I have to say hello at the beginning of everything. It's like I feel uncomfortable or weird if I don't. But anyway, so we're doing the 2 video thing, and it's getting better each video. So I feel kind of bad for the 1-3, because they're the first video that I did. I'm going in order this time. I usually choose the order from my little bowl. But this time, since I was doing something different, I was like, I'm just gonna go in order from 1-3 to 6-3. And anyway, it's been such a journey, but also it's like, it's becoming, at first it was, I felt so insecure. I'm not one of those type of people that's like, put together every day, and which is also part of the reason why I don't like really being on video. But I think too, it's like showing up authentically, just as you are, right? And I think there's a lot of power to that. And I also just think that we need more of that in the world, especially now, for whatever reason, it's like, we don't need to have the polished, edited, filtered, blah, 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 perfect thing, because that's not real life, either. So, anyway, I think it's interesting that that's the message that's coming through, because that's not originally what I was thinking when I first started making the video. But again, here we are. So it's very much part of my personality, where I want everything to be perfect before putting it out there, and nothing ever is. And if we wait for perfection, we don't end up doing the thing, and that sucks, So anyway, it's definitely been this lesson for me about the power of doing, the power of trying things, because I learned even a lot just from trying to put the 2 videos together. And anyway, let's talk about you. So there we go. That was faster than any other. We have affirmation for growth. I love that. You'll probably see me doing this action And that's because I don't know if this camera up here is like auto focusing, and the thought of anything being blurry I can't handle. So if you see me doing this, then I'm just like focusing the the camera, and I'm doing like shoulder exercises. Anyway, affirmation for growth. I love that, this is one of the things that I love about tarot, and I love about putting these videos out there with you, is that it's always like things always tend to come together, because again, like I was just saying a couple minutes ago, whatever I was saying was not like what I necessarily intended, but it did kind of tend to go in the route of growth, right? And here we have affirmation for growth. So that to me says that you may feel like you are in a period of growth. Maybe you're planting new seeds. Maybe you are even figuring out what seeds you want to plant, or plotting out where you're going to plant those seeds. Because we have this cat back here, they're dropping some seeds in the ground. This person has a pot with a seedling already started. So this also could be something that we're going to be going into spring here in the next couple months in the Northern Hemisphere anyway. So again, right, you could be planting the seeds now for what you want to see sprout come spring, but also it's always, I hope that's in view for right now. I'll check once I get all the tarot cards out here to be sure that everything is in frame. But it's also like, what do you want to put your time and attention and resources into right now? Because you can't just plant a seed in the ground and expect it to grow and to harvest, right? Like you have to plant it. You have to also like water it and manage it, and again, like put your physical energy into, I love, my gosh, we have the 9 of Pentacles. How perfect. But you have to, it's like it has to be something that you can see yourself continuing to monitor, continuing to, again, right, like practice even. There's no such thing as there's no such thing as practice, or there's no such thing as perfection. There's only practice. Oh my gosh, this 8 of Swords has come out in every single reading I have done so far. So what I was saying was that it's got to be something that you can see yourself like consistently doing, like, so that it does sprout and it does grow into something, whatever it is. It could be a study, it could be a job, it could be health, it could be just a daily practice. If you kind of feel the need to, that was too many cards, if you feel the need to incorporate a daily practice of some type. This is a beautiful reading so far. The 6 of Cups. I thought that was something that flipped over. Nope. Okay. And the 6 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So let me be sure. I'm curious, like, if there is an actual affirmation for growth in here. Let's see. $32, which breaks down to a 5, which is change, transformation, usually growth. Growth is necessary for life. The opposite of growth is stagnation, and no one wants to be stuck, sitting still and never moving forward. Growth takes effort, and sometimes it can be scary. It doesn't happen by itself. You have to nurture and feed it, whether it's body, spirit, or some part of your life, like career or relationship. We were just talking about that. Let's see. Oh, there isn't like actually a I thought there would be like an actual affirmation. But I'm not very good at like coming up with affirmations myself, so that's why I was like, I wonder if there's one in there. But maybe even to like, if you are good with coming up with affirmations, drop one in the comments. We'd all appreciate that. But also maybe even just come up with one or two for yourself, that you can insert into your daily practice. So we start with the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is individual success, it's independence, freedom. There's this quality of like luxury to it, but it's also it's enjoying the fruits of your labor. Because the Seven of Pentacles is when you are focusing your energy, your time, your resources into developing a thing. The Eight of Pentacles is putting the work into perfecting a skill. The Nine of Pentacles is seeing the fruits of your labor pay off, right? So here we have this tree that is full of apples. They're laying on a chaise lounge there, reading a book. They have wine and some snacks there. So it's being able to comfortably take a break. And it could even be a message that, like, if you have been kind of in the mode of hustle and bustle, and if you have been focusing a lot of your attention on your growth and what you want to see grow in your life, it could also be a message about allowing yourself a break, like inserting play into your life and also like being guilt-free about it. Because I think too, we all get kind of conditioned to feel a little guilty if we want to pamper ourselves, or if we want to take a break and read a book, or, like just kind of patting ourselves on the back for where we've gotten ourselves to and allowing ourselves to bask in that a little bit. And especially with it paired with the Sun card, speaking of basking, like it's, getting vitamin D. The Sun card is like everything good. It's joy, it's bliss, it's literal life force energy too, because we wouldn't even be alive if we weren't in such proximity to the sun, right? So there's also this like rebirth aspect that comes with the Sun card. I love that it is paired with the Nine of Pentacles, because there is some level of success or some level of satisfaction that you are finding in your life, or that is available, or even that you need to like illuminate, because the sun is an illuminary, right? It lights up the sky. It provides literal light for us, right? So it could be feeling good about an accomplishment. It could even be recognition around an accomplishment. But in the Sun card, there's at least 3 generations. There's this one figure that looks like they have gray hair. There's another figure who appears to be pregnant. So they're a little younger than the oldest one. And then there's another figure who appears to be the youngest out of the group, besides the baby that's, still in the oven, the proverbial oven, right? But so there could even be some sort of like generational healing going on, some sort of it could even be getting together or celebrating something with different generations in your family. It could even be like accomplishing something that hasn't been done in your family yet, or like doing something that hasn't been done in your family. but it also, like, it feels like it has this like fun quality to it, because in the sun card, they're dancing, they're connected with each other, but it looks like they're celebrating something. So, right, I mean, it could be just celebrating your success. And especially with this affirmation for growth, there's an opportunity for you to level up, and you would be celebrated for it. It doesn't even have to be like generations within your own family either. It could be, usually like at work or school, there's usually different generations that are working, are, like going to school. For me personally, any job I've ever had, I've always left that job with a really close friend who was like my dad's age. So, and that I keep in touch with like there's a lady that I met 20 years ago and I still keep in touch with her. So, anyway, so I just wanted to say it doesn't have to be necessarily like within your own family, but just in whatever environment where there would be multiple generations of people. But then we have the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles is the highest expression of the suit of Pentacles, right? And I don't think I said it with the Nine of Pentacles, but Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. How are we spending our time? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? And it's also our health, our lifestyle, right? So the King of Pentacles then would be having your cake and eating it too. It is reaching like the highest level of success, whatever that is for you, right? Like, it's going to be different for everybody, but there is this, again, like luxury kind of comfortable feeling to it. They're both relaxing, on their proverbial thrones. Back here, this is the king's house. It's like what they've built. There's livestock here. It's like having all of your needs met. So whatever the Nine of Pentacles and the Sun card are for you, that it is going to produce this level of comfort. Like whatever you want to get out of that, if you tend to it, right? Like if you put in the energy, the time, the resources, your physical presence into the thing, this is the point that you could reach. You could even be getting a promotion at work if it's work related. You could be improving your health greatly if that's what you've been focusing on. Allowing yourself little indulgences, allowing yourself to have a piece of cake every once in a while. What is it indulgence? Yeah. That's funny. But again, though, I mean, both of these cards just have this quality of take it easy, give yourself a break, but like in the sense of, like go towards the things that are going to get you closer to your goal. And if it feels like torture, don't do that thing, because it shouldn't feel bad. It should feel good. Like these first three cards feel very good, release the guilt. Don't, like if you want to take some downtime to read or whatever, like have a piece of chocolate. It's like releasing that guilt on ourselves. We have the Eight of Wands here, and wands are fire. So we have the Sun, which is Leo, fire. Obviously, it's a fireball, right? And then we have the Eight of Wands, which is also fire. But wands have to do with action, the motivation behind the actions that we take. It's passion and creativity, and how are you expressing those things? How are you communicating those things, right? I also see wands as being information because that's generally what we get by trying things, right? By taking action towards things like me doing these videos. It might be a shit show at first, but eventually the more that you do it, right? The more practice, the more that you try, you figure out what works, you figure out what doesn't work, what do you like, what don't you like? It's all information, right? This can even be internet, just the passing of information very fast, especially with the Eight of Wands, because the Eight of Wands is very fast moving. It could be communication coming in, it could be, you communicating with other people. But in this card, there's a tornado and there's all these wands up in the air. And it kind of seems like this figure is like trying their best to keep everything together. So you could have a lot of irons in the fire, like speaking of the sun and being a fireball. And it's like, trying to keep all those irons hot, or even, like the plate spinning analogy, you could have a lot of plates that you're spinning. And it's like, trying to make sure that none of those plates fall and break. So it could just be, feeling like you have a lot on your plate, or that's what's coming up. I'm curious, like, it's like the look on her face. I'm curious what the book says about. The eights tend to be about movement, some of it more productive than others. The Eight of Wands in particular is about events that have been set in motion. This may mean new starts or a time when things are happening that seem to be out of control. The trick is to ride the wind and turn that forward motion into something that works to your benefit. Yeah, like, yeah. Especially, right, because it almost goes back to this like affirmation for growth, because the point of setting intentions and the point of planting seeds is so that things do happen, right? And I think, was it the book that was talking about nobody likes to feel like they're stuck or standing still, right? I think that's from this card. And that's a whole point of planting new seeds, though, right? Because we feel like either we are stuck or we have more potential, or that we want something different in our lives, or maybe we just feel like there is some sort of change or something that's coming up, like, and maybe we don't know exactly. I just got scared that like the video wasn't videoing for a second, but maybe we become worried because we can't intuit. Like, we can feel that there's a change coming up, but maybe we just can't like intuit what it's going to be, and that can create some uncertainty. So anyway, so like we're planting seeds so that things do start looking better, or we do start accomplishing our goals. And at some point, though, it's like once those seeds start sprouting from the ground, they all kind of happen at the same time-ish, right? Or around the same time. So it's like that, now like I go from being super focused on a thing, or maybe not as busy, to being super busy and having to juggle multiple things. But that's not a bad thing, right? Like, it is just kind of, you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. How many times have I said that? But it's like, your actions paying off. We have the Eight of Swords. So we go from 8 to 8. We have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords have to do with our mind. It's, ideas, it's thoughts, it's like our perception of our reality. It's also divine truth, like objective truth. And I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to circumstances, to feelings, to memories, right? And it also becomes the reason why we do and don't do things. It becomes a reason why we perceive things in the way that we perceive them. So there's also, it feels like, especially paired with the Six of Cups, there's some old shit that's coming up that is available for you to like switch your focus on. And maybe it's something that it tends to find you in this energy of like feeling trapped or just feeling back into that inner child wound. Because the Eight of Swords, it literally is a mindset. It's feeling like you're trapped. It's feeling like you there's no way out. It's being worried, like, but it is self-inflicted because in this card, they are one decision away from changing their circumstance, from changing their mind, right? Like they could take the blindfold off if they wanted to. They're not bound in a way where they can't reach their blindfold. They could use one of these swords to cut through the little ribbons that are binding their wrists there. There's even this cat here that's like pushing on one of the swords because it's like, bro, we could just get out of here. What are we doing? So again, right, it's like this is the potential, this is what you want, but there's maybe just something in your mind that's like, either I don't deserve it, I'm not capable of it. It could, with it paired with the Six of Cups, and the Six of Cups is a card of the past. It's nostalgia. I always see it as being the inner child card too. It's also like the card of like acts of kindness because, this person is handing this kid some flowers here. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be like all bad memories. I'm just saying that because it's paired with the Eight of Swords, which is kind of like a bad memory card. So, it could just be that the way that it's like lining up your goals, your intentions with your mindset and not allowing the way that things worked out in the past or the way that things unfolded in the past to dictate what you think is possible now, because we can't do anything about the things in the past. And it's all just information anyway, right? We're not even starting from scratch. We're starting from experience. So maybe things will work out differently. I mean, there's definitely an opportunity to. But again, there is like this energy available here to heal a mindset from the past. Maybe even just a perception that you have of you or what you think you are capable of or what you deserve, right? So just kind of like keep that in mind. If those little like gremlins start creeping up that kind of start putting you in a position of this isn't possible, what made me think that I could do this, or I don't deserve this, or whatever it is, like if that comes up, like find tools or even like journal. I got to a point where I was making voice memos in my phone, and I would just say all of the things that, like all of those stories that would come up. And that way, it's out of me, it's out of my head. It can't snowball and get larger and larger and larger and prevent me from doing a thing. So I would just make voice memos in my phone, that like voice recorder thing. If you have that, you can download one for free. And then I would just delete them eventually. I don't usually like go back and listen to them because I think too, it's like, when you hear something out loud, it's one thing to hear something in your head, right? But like once you say it out loud, like the energy of it changes. You're either like, what the hell was I even thinking? Like, why do I even think that? Or it's like, it helps you like even get more clear on things. So that's, just an idea. But there's definitely, this energy available to heal something from the past. So it's so funny too that we go from 2 8s to 2 6s because we have the Six of Swords. at the bottom of the deck. And the Six of Swords, again, swords, right? And the Six of Swords is allowing your mindset to move forward. We can see on this card that they're on this broom. There's two people here that are cloaked. It's nighttime, and they're leaving. They've packed what they can take, and they're moving on to something else. It could be that you're moving. There could be some sort of move coming up. It could even just be like location changes in some capacity where, like your daily routine changes in some capacity, even maybe the websites that you visit every day. It could be, again, your workplace changing because we have the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Maybe you're getting a promotion and maybe that's taking you to a different location. It could be something like that. But I love, though, that it's coming after the Eight of Swords and the Six of Cups, because this is telling me that you are allowing your mindset to shift. You're allowing your mindset to refocus on a different direction, like focus forward, focus on your future, and don't take a lot of shit from your past with you, right? Like, we don't have to. It's literally a decision. And then we have the Three of Wands behind it. The Three of Wands is trying something new. The Two of Wands is like planning for the future. The Three of Wands is starting to put that plan into action. So it is, trying new things. Again, right? Like seeing what works, what doesn't work. What do you like? What don't you like? We have the Eight of Cups. Again, another card of moving forward. So here you go, right? Like you're allowing your thoughts to focus on the things that you do want to try. You're allowing yourself to try those things. And then the Eight of Cups is leaving behind what is no longer serving you, because it's also about getting clear on what makes you feel good. They're not just leaving behind the Eight of Cups. They're walking towards the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. Your desires being met, feeling purposeful, right? And that's what we figure out by trying things. What do we want? What is wish fulfillment? What are our desires? What does make us feel good, right? The High Priestess. Being in tune with your star player. Not to mention, she's looking into the crystal ball here. Again, this future focused kind of energy happening. And it is, kind of this feeling of looking into your own future. We have the Five of Cups, which is loss, grieving, and then the World card behind it, which is the end of the cycle. I mean, I could keep going, but we would be here even longer than we are right now. Whoops, that was this way. There we go. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me as we work out the kinks and the bumps. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.